It's one of the things I've really enjoyed about Demon Slayer. Main character, Tanjiro, very much a good guy.
Very good guy.
Extremely empathetic. Demons are humans who turned into demons.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have terrible backstories.
Some of them were turned against their will.
So he's like crying and sad for them, but then he just kills them. He's like,
Bro has zero hesitation. It's like the fact that I feel genuinely sorry for how this came to happen doesn't mean that I will turn from my duty to save the innocents.
Haven't seen the violence inherent in the system! Help! Help! I'm being repressed! Bloody peasant! Oh, what a giveaway! Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh? That's what I'm on about. Did you see him repressing me? You saw it, didn't you?
Welcome to Help, We're Being Repressed.
yay.
Yay, we're back. And I am holding a little flash from the past with me right now. Those of you who are not watching the video don't get to know. No, I'll tell you. It's one of the Soviet Moscow stickers from Stickergate on my to-go kep.
From the good old days of communist Moscow. It has the nice hammer and sickle on it.
Yeah,
it's enforced because we care.
Yeah, which was our town's slogan during COVID.
The masking motto. We were not big fans of that.
Good times. But Ameera, you were just realizing that.
Yeah, I have one of those stickers on my truck, and I'm like, oh well, currently I'm in Michigan, so everyone else who sees it will have no idea what it's from, and it's just a hammer and sickle on my truck.
So like in Moscow, most people have heard of Stickergate
as like an apparent communist.
Yeah. It's like here,
but I also have a God Bless Johnny Cash sticker, so I feel like it balances.
They cancel out. They cancel out.
Confusing.
You're like big black truck with a communist sticker and a God Bless Johnny Cash sticker. That's where it's at.
Yeah, you know.
But
what can you do?
It's like you ever see one of those stickers, it's the opposite of what it looks like, I promise. But anywho, today we are going to talk about anime.
Yeah.
Because if you have...
At the risk of being called weebs or whatever.
Yeah. If you have yourself a pair of eyes and the basic package of observation skills that comes with being alive, you might have noticed that...
I don't think that necessarily comes with being alive, to be honest.
No, I'm just saying the base package. It doesn't need to be excessive. The base package of observation skills. You might have noticed that anime is kind of everywhere right now.
Yeah, it's on Netflix,
Unlike
Disney,
my childhood. Yeah, Netflix, Disney, Amazon. You can watch it on Delta planes now.
That's weird.
Yeah. Unlike my childhood.
Where it was kind of taboo.
It was taboo in our circles. Very niche. Very weird. You know,
it's everybody definitely going much, much more popular right now.
And so with
I actually think it was following 2020.
Well, yeah.
That it really spiked because everyone was looking for things to watch.
Because everybody was locked up at home. And we weren't releasing anything new. And so everybody's starting to like explore what's available to watch. And there were some actual pretty good shows coming out at the time on the anime side of things. So a lot of people started getting wrapped into it. And now you're actually going to start to see a pivot in content quality and budget as anime is turning globally focused way more than it's been in the past. Like there's been global fans, but it hasn't been so much a global demographic.
Yeah.
So as it's spreading everywhere, we figured we'd talk about it a bit for those of you
we've been asked to talk about certain shows. So
yeah, a couple of them have been requested, but we wanted to give a bit of a broader topic first, because just for those of you who are considering trying it, or you have kids who watch it, or you have kids who want to try to watch it,
we're like, should you be concerned if your child watches anime?
Should you be worried? We're gonna go a little bit into
Let the cortisol spike, stress out, freak out. That's what we're recommending, actually.
Yeah,
that's what we always recommend. It's the only
freak
approach.
Out, always. So for one, the reputation of anime in my childhood is not unearned.
Yes. There's a reason for the stereotype when you talk about anime watchers.
Yes, when the Gen X parents are flinching away from it with a sneer on their face, there's a reason that they have that reaction. Some shows, some fan bases, there's a bit of an earned thing. But to start us off, I don't really like when people say, I like anime. Or people who go like, all anime is bad. Because you have to realize that it is a country's worth of media.
Like, it's kind of a lot.
Yeah. So I don't walk around saying I like Netflix, even though I like some things on Netflix. I don't go around saying I like Hollywood, even though I like some things that have come out of Hollywood. It's like that is way too huge of a thing and often overwhelmingly bad, but way too broad with so many different creators.
Yeah, it's not actually the same thing as being like, oh, I like Disney. Because even if that is still a broad category, it's like one company.
It's one company, yeah. But anime is a country worth of animated media.
Yeah.
With so many different studios and so many different creators. So just to start off, like whichever way your reaction is, I love anime.
Or I
hate anime. You're both wrong. You can be someone who likes a lot of anime, and you can be pulled to the medium of anime and pulled to the medium of animation. I personally love 2D animation, all about it. Or you could be someone that is just not your thing, not your aesthetic, not appealing to you, and both of those are fine. But you should be cautious of I like it, I hate it.
Here's the thing.
That is Japan's animation.
Yes, to be clear, if I don't have like a particular problem with someone being like, oh, I like anime or I don't like anime, it's more of the extreme that I have an issue with. It's like, oh, I despise all of it.
Or I love all of it.
Because there are definitely like themes or style things that are consistent broadly within anime, right?
Yeah.
So if you say like, oh, I don't like anime, and you're thinking about the broad category, I'm like, whatever, fine, sure. You know, that's okay. It's more of the like really extreme reaction that people have towards it.
Yeah.
Which is the like, oh, it's all gross. I hate it all.
Demonic.
That okay. I'm just like, yeah, there's a lot of variety within it. So I wouldn't condemn it entirely as a whole.
Yeah, like it's really, while it's a singular medium, but it's not a singular genre, and it's pretty expansive. So yeah, just to kick us off, it's like avoid the extreme emotional reaction in either direction because you'll find yourself just being incorrect.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, you could even probably place
and immature
Ghibli movies. I'm like, well, that's Japanese animation.
Yeah.
And I know
Miyazaki wouldn't like to be called anime.
Yeah, because he knows, you know, the stereotypes and all of that jazz.
I think it's more because of the way he prioritizes the art of it. And he doesn't like the cheapness of a lot of anime and just pumping it out.
Fair enough. However, I'm going to use the category as Japanese animation, which means I'm lumping him in there with it. So sorry Miyazaki, but... And I love his films. So it's like, I'm not going to have... Here's the thing. When we were first told, like, oh, you should try some of these shows. Like, I think we had a friend recommend them. And we were kind of curious what she was watching. You know, or like, what's going on?
Plus, I love fantasy. I love animation. And America's been disappointing me for a while in both categories. So.
Yes, but I definitely did, going into it, have the reaction of like, ew, no. I don't want to do that. Like, gross. But then I was like, okay, let's go in neutrally.
Be fair.
And it's not all bad, guys.
Shocker.
There are bad parts.
Big reveal of the day. Not all of it is bad.
Anime. Not terrible. Always.
But see, the other thing that can be fun about consuming any other country's media. So Japanese or anything else. Consuming another country's modern media can be interesting because they will be making different mistakes.
Different mistakes and different good things.
So to just see some of their mistakes, like on the more minor side, and just be like, they're doing it all wrong. I'm like, actually, they're doing some things right that we aren't.
Yeah, so one of the things that this is not a moral issue with the medium, but one of the things that I've noted in the multiple animes that we have seen that I don't love is it has a super exaggerated emotional reactions.
Yeah, that's just
like,
a
that a lot of characters
trope
have.
They use.
It's a trope they have in a lot of different things with a lot of different characters. And it's often used humorously, And it's just a type of humor that I don't find particularly funny. But there's nothing morally wrong with it. It's just like...
Yeah, that's a difference.
I don't necessarily love that. And that's just a difference. And that's something that I see as kind of a weakness because I actually think it's not funny.
I think it's kind of cheap.
Kind of cheap, you know, especially I can find it kind of obnoxious if a character's just like hyper emotional. So there's an example of something that I think they don't necessarily always do well. But then on the other hand, I think unlike a lot of American media, especially right now, they're completely fine with having the main character just be like a good person.
Which is amazing. Like how many of these new movies and shows we have and just have good, noble people as main characters.
Yeah, we've talked before about the antihero, you know, and Americans love that. We love the like. And don't get me wrong, anime does do this too.
Yeah.
They definitely have people where it's like morally gray. But in some of the shows, so like, what's a good example of this?
Of The Good Boy?
Yeah.
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer, right? This is one of the shows we've seen. The main character is like just kind of a good guy. Wholesome. You know, he's a wholesome boy. And it's like, we don't often do that. We don't often have just like a purely good, solid main character.
Yeah.
And I think I can appreciate a little bit that they're willing to do that. To just have a nice boy be the lead.
Just a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we get into more specific ones, for ones that we could feel comfortable recommending and that sort of thing, and we'll give some like age ranges on those, because another thing to remember is just because it's animated doesn't mean it's for kids.
No.
Don't. That is just the medium.
Yes,
it can cover so many different genres.
I know we'll get there eventually, but never just let your kids, especially like if your kids are older, that's very different if they already are, you know, media trained in some ways. Like you can have discretion about what you let them just do without you knowing, but don't just let your kids scroll through and find something.
Yeah, any more than you would let them loose on Netflix to just pick something.
Yeah,
don't let them loose on it. Like, no.
Just because the cover's cute.
Doesn't mean it's cute.
Doesn't mean it's cute.
But yeah, so just doing some broader comparisons right now is technique-wise. A lot of the, like, depending on the show, but the animation can be really good. So that's something that can definitely draw people in.
Well, you love art, so that's
yes,
like one of
I
the
love
things.
art. So another thing, though, that I've noticed is that they are a lot more experienced than we are at long-form storytelling. So that's obviously, that is not to say that every single one is good. Not what I'm saying. But American shows, I can't think of a single one that I have started and finished liking it.
I'm thinking back.
There's not one. There's only one I remember, and it's Australian, so it's not American.
Yeah,
but
that might be the case. I keep thinking of
because
like,
the
no,
thing
that's British.
is, Americans, we're this is how my brother put it. So this is how Rory put it. He said that Americans are creative, and the Japanese are diligent. So
broadly speaking, yeah.
Yes,
I think at
broad
least in
brush,
media.
really broad brush. But that's because that's just when you look at American shows, and we have so many good pilot episodes.
Oh, our pilots are excellent.
Our pilots are impeccable.
We're good at the hook.
We're really good at creative premises and fun hooks and gripping story ideas. And it is so incredibly obvious when you keep watching, and I would say the vast majority of American shows, and I'm talking serial, not episodic. Vast majority, you can tell that they didn't know where they were going with it.
Yeah. So that's why,
for example, Severance, amazing first season. When you start the second season, I was like, they did not plan for the second season.
They didn't know.
Immediately obvious. They hadn't known they were going to continue it. They hadn't known it was going to be successful, or they didn't care. I don't know. It was just deeply apparent that they had not planned the rest of the plot when they started it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that with so many of our shows
it's actually
that
one
cannot
of the reasons,
land it.
Yes, it's one of the reasons I think some of the stronger shows that we have are based on books, because there's already a blueprint.
Yeah.
And so I think that's, one of the best ways to get a good TV show is by actually just going off of something that already exists.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to plan it all out.
Yeah, and that's part of why anime has the advantage there, is because a lot of them are based on manga and sometimes novels than manga. So most of them are functioning off of a completed storyboard or a partially completed storyboard.
Yeah.
And
there is a storyboard.
But that means that the story was mapped out to begin with.
However,
and in some of these shows, I'm talking some of them, it is the exact opposite experience of watching an American show, where the pilots, solid meh for most of them, bad for some of them. A lot of the ideas,
at least messy.
Yeah, at least messy, minimally messy. And some of the ideas, not hugely creative. A lot of them are copy-paste. Like, you'll have one premise and you'll have like 20 different anime on that premise. Yeah. And it's a question of who can execute it the best. Mm-hmm. So you'll have like, okay, weak start, meh premise, and then just good execution all the way through.
Yeah.
That's what they're shooting for. And that's what you get in the best of the best shows. And you will find a type of creativity by pursuing excellence. Yeah. So I'm not saying there's no creativity involved, but it's just that there's way better pacing mapped out to the finish in some of these shows than you could ever find in an American show. Even though we can have some amazing pilots and some really fun ideas.
And then we don't,
It's like execute. I've started so many shows.
And dropped so many shows. You're just like, nah.
So many shows. I'm just like, oh my gosh, you had no idea what you were doing. The wheels come off so easily in our things because we do not plan ahead. We're not the diligent people.
No,
but that's not our forte.
One of the other things about anime, that I'm not entirely sure whether I would call this a strength or a flaw or like, it's more of
a feature.
It's a fact, right? Is the format, especially, and I'm talking about anime shows, is short episodes, like 20 minutes. Like very short. Often they end on cliffhangers. It's very, very fast. Doritos. It's like, yeah, it's very like pulls you in. It just gets you hooked in the story through the format. And it's very, very quick. Maybe it's one of the other reasons our generation likes it a lot is our attention spans are not
no bueno.
Not highly developed, we might say.
So the short, fast, gripping.
Short, fast, clippy. Clippy. It's just like zoom. You go right through it.
Yeah, so that's another thing about it. But moving more towards like moral or story differences. As you already pointed out, they do feel very comfortable with having good guys as main characters. But another thing that we were kind of cracked up to find out was seeing a similarity between our dad's writing and a major thing.
We were like,
hey, major thing in anime. And it's the idea that every hero needs to be part nightmare.
Yes.
And so even the good boys, it's like they need to have something scary about them. And they need to go through something. Like the victory has to be genuinely difficult.
It's actually, so one of the things that I think is best about the animes that we have seen is just the level of hard work that the characters and the struggle that the main characters have to go to achieve things. So
much effort. There's a reason Gym Bros like some of these.
Yeah, because it's very inspiring. It's very like, you will get it done. You must get it done. And it's great like that. Very hard work. Very like lock in,
Frequently very scary villains.
Yes, scary villains. Another thing I like is sometimes they have the villain arc and the hero arc match up.
I love this. This is something that I actually really appreciate because we have such a victim culture right now.
It's the opposite of what we do, which is, and it's not like American media can never do this, but I've seen it multiple times. Yes, in anime, and I have not seen it many times in American media, is we love doing our villain origin stories, you know? Where it's like
he had every right to be a villain.
He had every right to be a villain, you know, look what happened. But they kind of take that away from you because they will have the hero and the villain have the same origin. So, like, the same thing happens to these two kids or whatever.
And one of them stays good.
Yes, one of them becomes a hero, one of them becomes a villain. Which takes away the excuse of, like, oh, you had to.
But it also has a unique blend in some of these of empathy and still prioritizing the innocent. Because this is the other thing that we struggle to do. And an example is the No Way Home Spider-Man. Is the moment you have empathy for the villain in an American movie, you now can't kill them. It's like it would be wrong to kill them now that you have some empathy and understanding for them. And it's like wrong. If you have the authority and responsibility to kill them, the fact that you feel sorry for them does not make their life worth more than the innocents they're about to kill.
It's actually one of the things. So, like I said, we're going to do specific recommendations later, but I'm just going to drop this in now.
We'll hit some details as we do that.
It's one of the things I've really enjoyed about Demon Slayer. Main character Tanjiro, very much a good guy. Very good extremely empathetic. So the premise is like he's going around killing demons, basically.
Demon Slayer.
Demons. Yeah, duh, you know? Maybe I did not have to explain that. but demons are humans who turned into demons.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have terrible backstories. Where
some of them were turned against their will.
Some of them were turned against their will. Some of them just had the, like, oh, you had every right to become a monster type backstory. And he feels very bad for them, so he's always sad. He's like, oh, poor babies.
He frequently, will pray over their body.
Yeah, he'll pray over their body. He'll, so he's, crying and sad for them, but then he just kills them. He's like...
Bro has zero hesitation.
He's like, tons of empathy, zero hesitation. Because it's like, oh, yeah, but you're also going around eating people. Like, you don't get to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like the fact that I feel genuinely sorry for how this came to happen doesn't mean that I will turn from my duty to save the innocents. Kind of thing.
Yes. But it's also like, yeah, I don't know. There's the way that we try to, save villains or redeem villains is like, oh, but this excused all of the things you did. And he's like, no.
Nope.
It can explain some of the things you did. It does not excuse the things you did.
Yeah.
Like I said, kind of also, like the hero-villain arc.
The other thing,
I appreciate that contrast.
Forgiveness does not disappear punishment. So it's like consequences still come, even when you have a forgiving and empathetic
There's one anime that we have watched that I would not necessarily recommend, because I think some of the bad things, the anime things like fan service or that sort of thing is too excessive.
In places, yeah.
To for me to really say, you should show
100% recommend. Yeah, no.
But it does have, I think we've talked about this before. They have an arc with a father who is abusive. And he tries to make it right. And the anime really shows, he's doing the correct thing. He's doing what he needs to do. However, there's all of these consequences that still exist.
And it rings really true, because you have a man who's genuinely changing. And he has a fantastic character arc. He cannot erase the consequences of what he's done.
Yes, it just is the way it is.
But it does that while still offering forgiveness to him and redemption.
Yeah, he still can't actually be redeemed.
The other thing with that one specifically is the nerve to redeem that kind of guy. I really respect it. Because no sin is so bad that God cannot reach you.
Yes. And child abuse is one that our culture is very much well, obviously, we should be very reactive to it.
We should be very unforgiving to something like that as a culture. That's a good thing. But the fact that we don't have the nerve in our stories to offer redemption and forgiveness to someone who's been genuinely bad, we can only do it if we make excuses and sympathy.
Yes.
It's a difference. So one last kind of note on Broad, and then we can kind of touch on some specifics.
Oh, I have another note on Broad, but you do yours
Okay,
first.
Well, my last note on Broad is just similar with anything else. don't feed your kids things willy-nilly without looking.
Yeah.
So, like, parents, is on you. Do a little Googling. Do a wee bit of research before
maybe
you set
not
your
a little
kids...
Googling, maybe watch a little bit.
Yeah, that could be good too. But well, just make sure that you're checking out things that your younger kids or young teens are getting into.
Obviously, if they're old enough, like...
Yeah, but the thing is, as you're getting to my kids are allowed to choose what they watch phase of life, our kind of rule of thumb in our house is you don't watch or read anything that you wouldn't tell your parents about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that as we got older, we had to ask for permission before we watched or read anything. Obviously, we were free reign. But it's still just, you communicate because you're not going to don't do anything sneaky. If you feel the need to be sneaky, you especially need to tell your parents because you need to be holding yourself accountable. So I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb as you're setting your kids off in their mid to late teens to pick what they want to watch or read. It's just like, well, tell me what you watch. Just it's like, it's a good
Like, are you willing to have a conversation about this?
Yeah, are you willing, like, is this something that you would be happy to tell me about, talk about, give your thoughts on? So, and I think that could be a dangerous thing with anime or media that can be really, really quickly consumed.
Oh, yeah.
Is because people can get really pulled into it. So just making sure that conversation is happening. I think it's good.
So I actually have two other, like, kind of general thoughts. One other thing that I appreciated about the anime that we've seen is kind of a respect, not for, like, Christianity necessarily, though sometimes it is a respect for Christianity. There's a respect for, like, transcendence.
Discussion
about the transcendent. So we have a ton of shows where it's very materialist. I mean, we are a very materialist society.
We have ourselves some really flippant atheists in America.
Yes.
You'll frequently hear the phrases like, "Oh, you want to talk to your big sky daddy?" Like that kind of mocking. There's a mocking towards even having a discussion.
Yes, and it's not like I'm not going to be claiming like, "Oh, all of these are super Christian shows." Even if
they're not.
They're not. Some of them do have Christian themes or Christian ideas, but mostly what I actually appreciate that is very distinct from our culture is the fact that they are open to have those discussions.
Yeah, there's a seriousness in serious discussions, which I can appreciate.
Yeah, so even in some of the shows that I like, it's like, yeah, they're not a Christian character. However, they respect the faith or they respect the idea that there could be something more, and they kind of want something more, which is very, very different. And then the other final note, and this is more of like, the bad side of anime, right?
Yeah.
Which I think we should talk about a little bit. Like we said earlier, it did earn its reputation. So specifically, I think, so anime shows, they do have like fan service, right? So
which, in case you didn't know what that meant in this context, that means unnecessary sexualizing.
Yes, unnecessary sexualization, immodesty, that sort of thing. That's one of the things that some shows have a lot more than others.
A couple have none, but...
A couple do have none. But it's definitely one of those things that requires your discernment when you're deciding, like, okay, how old is my child? Can they handle, like, depending on the level...
Like some is just don't watch. Some of it is like if we're all grown-ups, we're being mature, and we obviously note that that's inappropriate. We don't wear skirts that length, okay?
We don't wear skirts that length, you know, that's that sort of thing. So there's that, and that's going to change based on your child's age, different factors of whether you think.
But it's up to your discernment.
This is a worthwhile show for someone to see, like depending on the level. Like I said, there's one that like a show that I enjoyed that I thought had good things, but I wouldn't just recommend. Because of the level of fan service that it does contain. The other thing about why I think it has a really bad reputation, I think there is a lot of the fans, or the older fans,
that are making the reputation by being creeps.
That create the reputation by, they're the reason there is fan service.
Yeah. So I would like to see fan service disappear now that it's targeting global audiences, or at least go down. And actually, in a lot of the new ones, it has gone down.
It's gone down. It's not zero, but it's gone down. But
because it's targeting new demographics now, which don't want it.
Yes. So one of the things I would say, if your kid likes anime or is into anime, I'm less concerned about necessarily the anime itself. However, there is a culture surrounding some of it. If your kid is also online, also on social media, I think you should be aware of that. Because there are definitely dark corners of the internet where it's like freaky fans. You know?
True.
So
but
that is something I would be aware of.
Stay off of dark corners of the internet anyway.
Yes, I know. However, but if you like, because there's the gym bro side of anime.
Which is all like motivational edits.
Motivational edits. Yeah, I'm even thinking of like Instagram or anything like that. Like if they like anime and then they get like anime edits on their Instagram or social media. There's the gym bro where it's like lift more, you know? Or like find inner peace.
Set your heart ablaze kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it's like, that's honestly, even if it's like kind of cheesy, you know, I actually love. Because I'm like, okay, so you're watching a show and you're actually
and then you're
like,
being motivated to reality.
Yeah, you're channeling it into reality. You're not just having this delusional, you know, you're not just being absorbed entirely into this false world. But then there's also the side where people are shipping characters together.
Being inappropriate.
And that could also come up on your social media feed.
Crushing on 2D characters.
Yeah, heads up to parents, like, not necessarily that the anime is a problem, but just have a discussion with them. Make sure they're aware of the pitfalls or dangers.
Okay, so we're going to go over a couple shows that we would recommend, and we'll give little notes to the pro cons as we hit it. And some of these we might discuss in more detail later. And if there's one that people want like an actual analysis of, I love analyzing things. So
say that again?
Analyzing things.
There you go.
Yeah, my words. It's hard.
I just had like a blip.
I'm just saying. We're just gonna give it, throw some ones out there that we've enjoyed, that we'd go give a couple of notes. But if you want any to be more in depth discussed, let us know because we'd be down. Okay, so Ameera, I'll kick us off. Frieren.
Cool.
So Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. That one is entirely appropriate.
You finished the show. I have not.
There's like, I feel like there was a minor immodest side characters in the late season 1, but it's like pretty low key. 2 girls that I'm like, your friendship is too touchy. But they're like side characters that don't matter. And I'm like, so I'm just noting, I saw that. I didn't like it.
You're like,
but
I noticed you.
That's really the only inappropriate thing that I spotted in the whole thing. It is very well animated, beautiful soundtrack, and it is an extremely thoughtful fantasy adventure. It's following...
I've started it. I have not finished it. My housemates are watching it together, so I am...
She's trying to be slow.
On track with them. It is kind of an exploration of why life matters.
Yep, it's an exploration of mortality and savoring the moments you have with people.
But they do it in a kind of... I mean, it's not necessarily a twist, but it's kind of a twist because a lot of the times you savor the moments because of how temporary
how short your life is.
How short your life is. This one is with an elf who's basically immortal.
She's 1,000 years old.
So it's savoring the moments despite the fact that your life lasts forever.
Well, it's realizing that even if your life is long, all of these moments are still temporary.
Yes. So like the people around you, they're dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's clean. It's fun, pretty fantasy.
It's very chill.
Very like it picks up in pace a little as it goes on.
The first couple episodes are definitely a little bit like you might be bored. Not you won't necessarily be bored.
I wasn't, but
like they're kind of fun, but they're definitely like low key, and then it definitely speeds up.
Yeah, so that one totally appropriate. So like any age that's interested.
Yeah.
So like your little kids probably wouldn't be particularly interested by something that's thoughtful and slow, but like tween and up.
Yeah.
So clean, fun, fantasy. This one's been requested to be discussed in depth already, but that's going to be for later. So
yeah. Okay, second one.
You do one.
We've talked about it a little bit. Demon Slayer. Unlike Frieren, this one definitely has a couple more things that are problematic.
Yeah, so there's modesty notes for side characters in the later seasons.
Modesty notes for side characters in the later seasons. One of whom where it's them fighting in like a
scantily clad. Call it
that. Scantily clad woman. Two scantily clad women fighting in later seasons. So, like I said, up to your discretion whether you want your kids watching it.
However, they are side characters, but it's like, we've noted it.
It's present, you know. However, the story's, it's not like, I mean, the fights are kind of repetitive, but it's very fun. It's very
it is very high action fantasy, very noble.
Yeah,
in
very
its
noble
morality. So
noble, hardworking.
Very classic
it's a good
hero's journey to getting strong enough to face down the big bad.
Yeah. And some of the animation in the later seasons and in a movie
as
that
the
came
budget
out
goes up,
is just fantastic. The budget definitely starts smaller at the beginning, which you can tell.
Gets way higher.
It's a fun, it's very like, yeah, it's just a quest for strength, it's a quest story.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fun. And
when I was doing some PT training for an injury, my trainer was like, think of Tanjiro on the mountain, like, go, go, go. So yes. It's one of the gym bro ones that is very
like physical encouraging.
You push yourself to the limits, we fight for what's right kind of classic thing.
Push through pain.
Through pain.
You know, more kids can hear. The first couple episodes are very bloody.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this one,
if you're trying to restrict violence.
Yeah, this one, the note for age range is that it is bloody.
It's very violent.
So that's kind of the note. So whatever, it's at your own discretion for age range with the violence.
Yeah.
But
I don't think it's the highest quality one I've seen. It is definitely repetitive in some ways. However, it's very fun.
Mm-hmm, very fun.
Very, very motivational.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's a fun one. It's also a really big one. And it's big for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
3.
I've got a whole list. I don't know how many we're going to get through. Vinland Saga.
Oh, I was going to say that one.
I win. Okay,
Viking
Saga
anime.
is a kind of funny twist here because it's a Viking anime. It is not the classic, like, big eyes and sparkles animation.
No.
It's got a different style to it. And it's an interesting one. So this is one that I would think warrants discussion.
Yeah.
Between whoever's watching it.
It's one of the ones that is not Christian, but is respectful to Christianity.
It's contemplating Christianity.
Yes.
So it's very clear that the creators don't fully understand Christianity, but neither did the Vikings. So there's that.
No way.
But it's very much exploring that. And I would say that the second season's a lot more positive to Christianity than the first.
Yeah.
So some things are up in the air where they'll land, and they're starting to lead towards the more Christian path by the end of the second season. It's a show following Thorfinn, the first Viking, the first European attempt at settling America.
Mm-hmm.
As he is working through a revenge plot and finding the purpose of living and what it means to be a true warrior, all that kind of thing.
It's like emptiness of revenge.
Yep.
What you really want to protect.
Well,
learning to be peaceful.
I would say, what is strength?
Yeah.
It's a big question of the movie because, it's what is strength? And for the first season, Christianity is very framed as weak, but weirdly offensive to all the strong.
Which is, it is offensive to the strong, it turns out.
But as
throughout
the
history,
second season progresses, Thorfinn is kind of discovering the fact that, like, not fighting is sometimes the stronger thing to do.
Yeah.
Like the idea of peace, as you said. So that's a fun one. A lot of action, a little more serious. Honestly, I would put the violence as a little worse than Demon Slayer because it's more real. So Demon Slayer is this like fantastical action, and we note the blood because a lot of people don't like excessive violence. But to me, I'm like, the color red. Because it is very unreal, but Vinland Saga is a lot more in reality. So even though there might
It's
be
more
less
intense.
blood spraying, there's a higher intensity to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Teen and up.
I think it has less fan service.
Oh, it has almost none. There's
there's a couple
there's a
moments
Viking
of,
that like pictures hot chicks at one point. And that's like
there's like 2 moments where you just like see something and you're like, why? But there's no like characters who are problematic.
Yeah, not really.
However, age range I think actually is higher
Higher
than
than
Demon Slayer. Do you think?
I'd be like 15 plus probably.
15 plus, okay. I really enjoyed that one. It was much more thoughtful than Demon Slayer. Much more, I think, actually quality.
Yeah, some pretty complex characters and good growth.
It's interesting and it's thoughtful, and I feel like it makes for a good discussion, even if you don't like everything about it.
Because the thing is, I almost never watch anything without having edits. So when we recommend things, for the most part, it's like, yeah, no, you should have discussions about what you liked, what you didn't like, because there's always going to be something you didn't like. But yeah, so that's a good one. And it very much falls in the category you were talking about the fact that they actually have more respect for the serious discussions than we do right now.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're next.
I think I'm going to say Kaiju number 8. These are all, we are saying a lot of like the new gen animes. So these are a lot more of the recent ones, and part of that is because they are the ones that are popular right now. So you'll see them a lot of places. Kaiju number 8, I think is just, I really like the background art.
Yeah, it's got good animation.
So it has good animation. I think it's just fun.
Yeah. It's another fantasy action. It's very fun, popcorn, a little bit of that dramatic, emotional for comedy thing.
Yeah, which is not my favorite.
I guess one thing that applies for all the action ones, so all the ones except Freyrin that we mentioned, is all of them have the bit of the hero needs to be part nightmare.
Yeah.
At play. So this one has it the most literally that we've mentioned so far.
Literally. Well,
because
spoiling it.
It's in the first episode, so
but you're still spoiling it. It's a spoiler.
Spoiler. The whole thing is that it's a modern-ish / futuristic Japan where monsters, kaiju, attacking is a natural disaster like earthquakes. So they just have like kaiju alarms, and they have a whole force that's just the kaiju defense force. And that's kind of the world they live in. And there's this washed up guy at like 32 who always wanted to be on the defense force, but always failed the test. But he dreams of being in the defense force and protecting people. It's a classic. And he gets found by a kaiju a little monster that talks, and none of these monsters talk, and jumps down his throat, and he becomes a monster.
Yeah.
And so this is a pretty classic question for anime shows, is the premise is, if a guy has a monster aspect, does he become a man or a monster? And it's always going to be a plot of jumping between those two things, and I think, like, morally, we should land on the man side.
Morally, we're for the ones where he ends up a man. There definitely are some shows
there are
where
some that
they
end
go
up
more
monster,
and
yeah,
it like
but
destroys
this one
them.
Is definitively man. So It's like, if you're a monster and a man, what do you do? And it's like, he will stay human. It doesn't matter that he's physically different now. He'll stay human. So there's some cheapness in storytelling. It's definitely a popcorn show.
Oh yeah, it's not like wildly
it's well
deep.
animated. It's fun. It's got some good music. It's got some fun characters. It's got like very, very minimal fan service.
Yeah.
I think it's like their official uniforms that they wear only like once have like relatively short skirts.
Yeah.
So this one, it's like, it's clean, it's fun.
Yeah, and it's not one of the
quality.
complicated ones, and there are some that are complicated. These recommends are much more of the like, other than Freyrin and Vinland Saga, which I think are a little deeper. These are very much like, the fun shows. If your kid's watching it, I would not stress out. Yeah. This is just like kind of action, motivational, hard workers, which is the hardworking theme is also in Kaiju number 8. where it's not giving up on your goals regardless of the problem.
Yeah.
Regardless of how much
self-sacrifice.
you fail. Mm-hmm. Yes. Self-sacrifice, but like failing over and over and over and over again until you succeed.
Mm-hmm. Which is a great lesson for anybody.
Alrighty.
Anywho, so we're running out of time. So obviously we have lots of other shows. I mean, lots is an exaggeration, but we've got ones we hated. We've got ones we've liked.
Lots is an exaggeration.
But just for now, we'll throw out one more and call it for the day. And I'm going to throw out Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I think this is good to mention because it's not like, we're not talking about the obscure shows. Yeah. This one you will see around.
These ones, I feel like we've mostly mentioned big ones so far.
Yeah. Which is fine since this is, I think, what people are going to need to know about.
Plus, the thing is, some things are big for a reason. Like Cream rises.
Scum also rises.
Scum rises too, but Cream rises. So like frequently when you're looking for the best of something, they'll often be popular. Will you find some no-name things that are good? Yes, you will. Have I found some? Yes, I have. But for now, we're hitting the big ones. Jujutsu Kaisen is huge right now. The season 3 is coming out. And it was the first one we tried.
Mm-hmm.
And it also has a very literal, is he a man or is he a monster? And it's a kid who has a demon inside of him that he's trying to control.
Yeah.
And so it's another monster fighting one. And it has very sticky characters and fun plot line, pretty high violence, some very scary villains. They do a good job with the villains, and it's one of the ones that does a good job with the villain and the hero having similar backstories. So there's actually one of the biggest heroes and one of the biggest villains have literally the same backstory. They were together. So it's another one where the budget goes up as it goes on.
Yes, which is
so funny. So season 1, the animation's a lot worse than season 2.
Yes. I think they got season 3 is coming out.
They went
I have not caught up on it all. However, based on my first couple episodes, I think they got too into the animation.
Yeah.
And it's become this very, very artsy, like kind of like a little more abstract, and you're just like,
it's too bad because a couple of months ago I would have just wholeheartedly recommended Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
It's fun, good characters, very brutal on its main character, which is fun for his growth. But now that season 3 is coming out, I'm like,
it's a show
because the animation got way too self-serious, like you said, so artistic. And so it lost a lot of the basic coherence because of that, including leaving out really necessary details. See, episode 4, one of the characters goes back and just kills everybody in a clan. It wipes out a ton of people. And they kind of left out all the reasons she did that. Well,
wait, actually?
No, they kept a couple reasons, okay? So you still knew that they were bad guys, but they left out so much that set up, that would really justify that. Because because it was for the sake of, the artistry. They're trying to be all, creative. And the thing is, we'll see how it goes because the director for the first half stepped down and there's going to be a new director.
Okay. Well, like I said, I kind of...
But yeah, so I'm I don't
gonna let it pile up, but...
Yeah, I haven't finished it, so maybe it'll pull together.
Definitely.
But I'm just saying season 3 is whatever. But the first 2 seasons I found really fun. But part of that was that I am severely fantasy starved over here. And I love to see bad guys, especially when they get beaten by the good guys.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. We may revisit this topic at some point.
Yeah,
like I said,
I also think JJK is another one that's very, I was about to say lighthearted. It is not lighthearted.
The opposite, actually.
It gets kind of dark. They're not afraid to let people die.
Yeah.
But it's not one of the complicated ones. It's not wildly thoughtful. It's not this is the best piece of media you're ever going to see. However, has a lot of fun adventure, a lot of fun characters. I think the characters are actually its strong point. Yeah, so it's feel free to enjoy,
But yeah, so I have so many more thoughts about all of these.
Yeah, but I have to run somewhere. So
but we're calling it. We're calling it for now.
We're gonna say
like
period.
I said, if anyone has any questions, any shows that they'd like us to talk more about, or just talk us to talk about for the first time, please let us know. The place where we see comments is YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah.
And best of luck to you.
Cheers.
Peace out.